Oh, wow. Hi there. Oh, look at there's Miss Felina Katz, and I am GrannyTino. Woo! Welcome, 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 welcome. Woo, 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 woo. I'm in the festive mood today. How are you? You doing okay, Felina?
Yes, I am. I'm doing great. Got my little kitty here, my kitty friend.
I know. I like, I love your pussy. I always say, hey.
No.
Does your pussy have a name?
Maybelline.
Maybelline. Oh, I like that. There you go. Any relationship to Johnny? Somebody, his name is Maybelline. Was that
Yeah,
Maybelline or somebody? I don't know. I'm I'm
yeah.
I'm
Those
just
Johnny Be Good, something,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
No,
Well,
she just,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
she is so cute. Well, everybody, this is what we do now. This is the last Monday of the month. If you're actually watching this, good for us. And what we do is Netflix movie reviews. So we just pick two movies to watch, and then we do our report. We each write up our report and read it, and then we talk about it and do another one. We have two movies, and I just lost Linda Wagner. Okay. There you
I'm
go.
back.
She's back. This is the kind of, the time when you just don't know what's going to happen. So, okay. So, well, now, Miss Felina Katz, why don't you read your review? I believe what are we reviewing? Tell us, and then just go to it.
We are reviewing a movie called Lila and Eve. It's a suspense thriller with violence, a
Ooh,
lot of violence. Woo.
dish girl.
Okay. Wait.
Get rid of that fur ball for the love of God.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah. Do you have
The
any
lead,
water? Do
yeah,
you
I
have a
do.
bowl? Do you have a bowl of water?
Yeah. Meow,
Oh, they let you drink out of a cup at your house. Wow. I'll tell
meow.
you. I'm impressed. Woo.
Okay. I'm better now.
Okay.
Lead character Lila, played by Viola Davis, has recently suffered the loss of her older son, Stefan, who
Ooh.
was shot in the head in the midst of a gang turf war.
Oh my.
Lila, huh?
I said, oh my. No.
Oh, yeah, it's awful, awful,
Continue.
awful. So Lila is painfully sad and depressed over his death and has many emotional flashbacks relating to the incident. She goes to a therapy group to try to deal with her loss and meets Eve, Jennifer Lopez, another woman suffering the loss of a child. Eve seems to be a loner, and Lila needs a sponsor and asks Eve if she would be her sponsor. And Eve was reluctant and doesn't think anyone will really help anyway. So Lila checks in with the detective on
Mm.
the case, but he is stalled and needs to find a lead. He needs the name of somebody that might have been, you know, uh, involved in this turf war. So Lila checks in and she finds a lead.
Mm.
Eve comes around to see Lila and convinces her to be proactive in the investigation on her own. That might be a bad idea. They end up finding a gun one night in Lila's younger son's backpack, who was just it was just lying in the middle of the floor. And oddly, nobody really questions him about it.
Huh.
So Eve convinces Lila to take the gun with them when they go out to find the thug to get the name of the shooter that killed her son. Eve accidentally shoots the thug and kills
He
him.
deserved it.
Yeah, well, she said that she thought he was going to attack her.
Yeah.
So she was proactive in making sure he didn't attack both of them. And anyway, Eve grabs his wallet and cell phone and tells Lila that she'll take care of everything all the
Oh.
time. So then they take the gun and go to find the name of the shooter again, only this time they kill three thugs.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I'm thinking this is pretty good shooting for two women that are just moms, pretty badass moms there.
Yeah.
So then by now, the thugs are really pissed off at Lila and Eve, and they go after them. But a trap was set at their house, and they blow up more thugs because they were trying to kill her, Lila, and her younger son. So Lila gets back with her therapy group and starts to discover that Eve is missing
Huh.
mysteriously, which leads to a rather odd ending, in my opinion.
Huh.
I did like the action involved and the plot, but I give it three cattails.
Oh, three cocktails. There you go.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
good, but just a little inconsistent.
Okay. Well, so much for your opinion. Remember, you're a cat. Okay.
Mm.
So,
Oh,
mm, okay. So let Granny Tino read a real review for everybody. Okay. This is my review of Lil Lila and Eve. Okay. I have a slow burn. This is a slow burn movie thriller. Now, it's a powerful slow burn drama, and I think it will take your breath away more than once. Now, Lila, the lead character, is played by the talented and amazing Viola Davis. The movie grabs you from the first scene when Lila's older son, Stephen, played by Ami Amin, an innocent, is gunned down by gang members in the streets of Atlanta and killed, and that just tears at your heart. You just see that right off the bat. This is going to be some story. So, to help cope with her devastating loss, Lila joins a support group. She meets Eve, played by Jennifer Lopez, and the women instantly bond, which makes sense. Now, between trying to cope with her loss and looking after her younger son and barely functioning, the story turns after it is obvious that the police are not interested in solving the case. They're not, they never are. Of an African American shooting based on their pattern of discrimination and racial profiling. That's just how they acted. They did nothing. And sometimes women have to take matters into their own hands. So Lila, with the strong influence of Eve, decided to pursue the case, and they should do it themselves, to find who killed Stefan. Not wanting to give away too much of the story, let's just say that these women take empowerment to an entirely new level. Okay, so everybody listen to that. An entirely new level. As they do indeed go after the string of criminals in any way responsible for the horrific and unsolved crime. Now, I'm giving the movie a four-finger rating. And the reason it's not five is because I think the development of Eve's character was not woven into the story appropriately, to make it, to make us get it till the last minute. I think there was a missing beat there. I got it after one obvious clue, and I'm not one who likes to know the end of a movie or where it's going. So I think that could have been tightened up a little bit. Other than that, I love the message, and truly cared about the characters. Viola did an awesome job of playing the woman surviving while being in shock, which she did play very well. Some people might say, oh, why was she so blah? But when you're in shock, life has no meaning when you've lost a child. So I think she really exemplified that feeling when she did that. So that's my view of it. So I gave it the four fingers, and you gave it three cattails. So obviously there was something else for you missing, or that made you rate it that. What was the main thing that made you
There
give it
was
a three?
because there was some inconsistencies, and like you said about Eve and the mess and what happened to show you what was really up to, just kind of was weird.
Yeah.
The way they developed it, and kind of like she's showing up and then she's not showing up, and all of a sudden Lila sees what's really going on, and it's like, instead of blowing her mind completely, which it should have, you know, at that time when she first noticed it, she just kind of carried on.
And which point was that? You're
Um,
talking about Viola's character?
right, the cell phone point when she checked pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
that's, I guess that was the director's call, but I just looked at it as, I think, part of the dysfunction of the character, because I think under those circumstances, you just probably don't behave like you think, like you should behave, or there's a lot going on. So that was obviously the director's take on it. So, well, you're, like I said, I always say, when I don't quite agree with everything you say, you are only a cat. So there you go. I miss your flying tail thing you have. I liked what you still have that, so you could, oh yeah, good, because we like for you to be entertained. A lot of people said they really like Felina and her fish. So they're loving your fish. And now you've got your cat and your fish playing today. So now we did another a movie that we watched. So I'll read the review on that first to give you a break, because I know you're busy with the pussy. So I'm going to do that. So now this is Killer Cove. This is another Netflix review, of course. That's what we like to do, Netflix review movies, because they have a lot of good stuff. So this is an independent horror film that used to have another name. I don't know if you knew that, Felina, but Fear Bay. And why they changed the name, I have no clue. But either way, it seems to be a typical movie where the main character is doomed no matter which man she picks. This should be a lesson for everybody. Hey,
Sounds familiar.
hello, like who doesn't know that? Yeah, right. Haley Webb plays the woman in perpetual distress, accompanied by her best friend, played by Kathy Barron. Typical hookup in a bar, with the best friend playing Cupid and getting her friend to jump on that hunk of man meat. I would just not have that friend in my life anymore after that fiasco. Um, as the movie goes along, it is difficult to figure out which male is the bad guy, um, as ultimately they are both disturbed egomaniacs who love to control women.
Yeah.
And obviously, she must like to be controlled, or she wouldn't have picked either one of them. Well, ladies, who wouldn't swoon over that? Like two actors playing their games. The two actors playing their games are Donnie Boaz and Jason Allen Smith. And the good news is that they are not hard on the eyes. That's why I was able to finish watching the movie, which, and that means a lot to a Jersey girl. And I think that the cats from Brooklyn would probably feel the same way. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, we love a good looking piece of man. So at
Maybe.
least you ends up having a female who gets tired of being pushed around and ends up coming into her own empowerment. To me, that's the redeeming part of this movie. And the only reason I didn't give it one finger was it's Christmas time and I really didn't feel like giving the finger. So I gave it two. I gave it two fingers to be really nice around the holidays, but we all know what I really wanted to. But see, I can be nice, Felina. So there you go. So
Well, actually, that's about the size of it.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. I gave him 2 cattails.
Oh, you gave it a two cattails. So was your review like basically the same?
In a sense, yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
can.
so you don't even, that's okay if you don't even want to bother reading it. We could talk about another movie if you want.
Oh, I can read it.
Yeah, well, then read it for us so people don't think that we influence each other. Read your review.
Oh.
I'll just eat my popcorn.
Okay. As a cat, I
Yeah.
just love a good stalker film. Well, Killer Cove takes place in a lovely town in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
And the scenery was really a nice touch. And while it was basically a good kind of stalker plot in the beginning, it just became rather slow and painfully, predictable.
That's
So
true.
anyway, Linda Marshall, she's the lead character, and she's working with a friend at a local antique shop. So she has an encounter with her uninvited ex-husband and has a heated argument with him one day, and he just shows up unannounced and tells her that he demands that she
Yeah.
lower the price to their house so that it could sell quicker. So anyway, in the meantime, she's not exactly into it because she's stalling, because she still feels emotionally attached to the house and to her previous life. Don't know why, but she just does. And later that night, she goes to a bar. Fun. And she meets that piece of man meat who was flirting with her relentlessly and turns out to be Tony Sarno, the private investigator. And anyway, they have a nice little banter, but she says she really isn't interested in a private investigator, but he gives her a card anyway. So Linda starts to leave when another stranger, wearing a hoodie, gives her a really bad attitude. And then she runs into him, the same creepy guy, at a local store while shopping.
My God, they were all over the place.
Yeah, it was the same guy that was at the bar in the hoodie. And they have a brief confrontation that ends up kind of nasty. So she calls the police to report it. And, the creepy guy and everything, but they were not very helpful as usual.
Yeah,
Sorry.
of course not.
And she finds the card to the private investigator, Tony, and calls him. So he comes over and discourages the stalker and makes sure that he will never be bothering her again. rather conveniently, but rather inconveniently, guess who shows up? The ex-husband.
Ta-da!
The same night too. And,
Yeah, they're all, it's like they're in line.
yeah. And he's like, giving her a hard time. So Tony doesn't put up with it, the private investigator. And after he's like, has been busy beating up the other guy, he goes and beats up the ex-husband, basically, or
Good
sort
Lord.
of. Yeah. So she, it just gets to be more and more weird. And then the ex-husband has more and more weird things happening to him. So he complains to the police. Then the police get all involved and says that, something is wrong with this guy, Tony, that
You think?
that he kind of has a dangerous past, you think? So anyway, they just get to the point where she doesn't know what to do, and she gets upset, and it just gets really, more morose and more weird, and she finally freaks out entirely. So in case anybody really wants to watch this piece of work, I won't give away any
Is
of
that
the
what
rest.
you call it?
Well, kind of. However, I think they may be planning to produce a sequel. So I give it.
No, they
Yeah.
left it that way, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yes.
They left
They
it
do.
dangle, so they don't need to bother. But maybe the sequel will be better. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's it. So I give it 2 cattails.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, we were the same on that one. Well, we have a little bit of an extra thing today because we both watched the Christmas Chronicles 2 because I had suggested it because and let's just discuss that and tell everybody how did you think about about that movie?
Well, I was not too sure if I was going to like it or not, but it turned out that it really was done so well that, how can you not like it? It was beautiful.
I know, it was like perfect. So, and who could not love Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell together? I mean, you'd have to be out of your mind not to
Yeah.
love those two people, right? I mean, didn't you love them?
Oh yeah, I love them. I
Yeah,
loved them years ago.
yeah, they have this great chemistry. I'd
And they
like to,
walked into
now they
my
have done
office.
a couple movies together in the past, but I would certainly like to see them do more now, because they just do. They have this magical chemistry that's unbelievable. I can see why they get along so well. You know, it's like amazing. She's just so enchanting. And he is not hard to look at one bit, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a good duo. So anyway, I gave this movie just so, oh, wait, I gotta go get it again. Wait a second. I forgot to have my thing again. Um,
Woo.
Look at this. Okay. I'm giving Christmas Chronicles 2 5 fingers or one hand.
Uh,
Yay!
I give it
Yay!
four paws. I give it four paws. See, my friend
Yeah.
Maybelline agrees.
Oh, you
And
gave it.
one tail.
So
Four paws, one
is
tail.
that a 5? Did you give it a 5 tails in total? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, four paws and one tail.
Hey, it looks like so far we got somebody to give this to as when we have our big award show. I mean, look at that. So that's good. You know,
Yeah,
I'll tell you something. When you work on a budget, life is hard. You see, this is coming off on my hand. I've got to spray it with shellac because it's rubber. And you know, the hand, I got it from Halloween and it's rubber, but when you spray over it, you have to shellac it, or every time you touch it, you get gold on you. And
yeah.
so I'm gonna have to shellac. And
Oh.
I have no problem shellacking. So anyway, this has been a really good show. It's going well. And also I want to let everyone know that Fair Productions, you know, GrannyTino's company, is responsible for sponsoring this show. And what I'm doing, I like to let everybody know what I'm doing. This is my movie. I have a DVD out, The Racists. And if you go to theracist.biz, you can get a copy of this in time for the holidays, because people like to get gifts in the new year too. And I always say, let's support independent films. And this was my first feature. And so again, this is sponsored by FairProductions.biz. And when you go there, you can see whatever I'm up to and whatever products I have available. Okay. So that, I just wanted to put that plug in. So I guess, Felina, we're going to have to go, and then we'll pick 2 more movies and we'll be back over and over again, as long as these people can stand it, right?
Yeah.
If they keep watching, it's their fault. It's not our responsibility if they have nothing better to do. I mean, but I think we're pretty entertaining. Well, you have a lovely holiday, Felina.
Thanks, you too. All like ready for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm got my hat on to be warm, so I'll be good. So we will see you next time. And remember, enjoy yourself. See you at the movies. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Katz.
Meow.
Meow.